Hello everyone, this is Gary24 here, and welcome back to another Minecraft military tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and building the High Mobility Multi-Purpose Wheeled Vehicle, abbreviated as HMMWV, known more commonly by the name of Humvee. The Humvee is a family of light four-wheel drive military trucks and utility vehicles produced by AM General. It has largely supplanted the roles previously performed by the original Jeep and other variants of vehicles used during the Vietnam era. It is primarily used by the United States military, and it is also used by numerous other countries and organizations, and even in civilian adaptations. The Humvee is one of the most iconic military vehicles out on the battlefield today. Despite it being phased out with the United States military, I'm sure it's going to be around for a very long time to come, being used by several militaries around the world for the very foreseeable future. So the version we have in front of us here, we have three. We have one with just a standard 50 cal machine gun, unprotected. The more protected turret, which was common in the war on terrorism and the Afghanistan type campaigns. And then we have a tow launcher version as well. So we will be building all three of these versions in this tutorial. So if you are looking to have a few different types of the Humvee, you will be getting that. I will also be posting a download that will include all my Humvee variants, which range from communications, radar, anti-aircraft weaponry and stuff like that, and just other utility type vehicles. I will be posting a download for that, so if you are interested, stay tuned. I'll be making a full video showcasing all those vehicles in that tutorial, or in that download, and it'll be available for download on my Planet Minecraft, as well as in this tutorial I will be showing you guys how I did my woodland camouflage. So if you guys are interested in the kind of green, brown, and black color scheme, I will be showing that briefly as well. With that though, that's going to do it for this overview for the build. Let's go ahead and move into the tutorial. By beginning with our first layer number 1. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layer here, we will be going ahead and start with layer 1. Now for layer 1 to start with, we're going to place down a polished blackstone full block like this, and we're going to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone top slab to the side of that block, and another polished blackstone brick full block. So you're going to create this front axle setup here. We're going to place down an item frame that's going to come off this slab, and in that item frame we're going to place down a tripwire hook. Now on Java I am using invisible item frames. You can use normal item frames if you do choose to. However, invisible item frames are the best to do. I'd recommend looking up that command for yourself to find which works for your version, as the different versions of Minecraft have different commands for the invisible item frames. But yeah, that right there is going to set up the front there. Then behind this, we're going to place down a polished blackstone wall to both sides, and then another lightning rod that's going to go between those walls. After that's done, we're going to go and grab ourselves some smooth sandstone slabs. We're going to place down a row of 3, and then a second row of 3, and then a third row. So 3 rows of 3 going back like that. And actually, 3 rows of 3. And then we're going to go and place down a polished blackstone full block to both sides. Again, we'll place down a top slab of polished blackstone between them. Then another polished blackstone wall to both sides like that. And then between those walls, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a birchwood fence gate. So let me go and grab it. There we go. We're going to place down a fence gate here, open this up toward this slab, and then we're going to place down a sign on the back here. And then we just want to go and grab some black banners, and we're going to place it down on the sides of these walls here to go ahead and create the mud flaps there for the vehicle. After that's done, for the wheels to kind of spruce them up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and place down a item frame that is going to go on these blocks. And you can use normal item frames or you can use invisible. It doesn't matter. Either one will work. And we're going to go ahead and place down yellow stained glass in those item frames like that. We are also, since we're on Java, we can place down item frames and buttons in the same block space. We're going to place down a button on the sides of the blocks as well. If you're not on Java, such as Bedrock, you would have to probably pick and choose between either the buttons or the item frames. Either one will work in this scenario. So that right there is going to create the base of the vehicle. This is what it should look like from top-down view. That is it for layer number 1, and with that we'll move on to layer number 2. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a loom on top of this polished blackstone top slab. And we want to make sure it's facing this direction here, so you have the vent looking side facing forward and also on top. Then to the sides of it, we're going to place down a smooth sandstone upside down stair, just like that. And we're also going to go ahead and place down a row of dark oak wood fence gates across the front here like this. Behind the fence gates, for my Java players, we're going to place down item frames that are going to come off the upside down stairs, and then we're going to place down snowballs in those item frames like so for the front headlights. If you're on Java, we can also use the Debug Stick, which will go ahead and left click the fence gate until we get selected in wall false. Right click it, set it to true, so it's going to kind of lower that down just a tiny bit to kind of make it a little bit more at a nicer level there. Again, that's going to be for Java players. The debug stick can be obtained by typing the command /give. You can do a little asterisk symbol, and then you'll just type in debug stick. Boom, just like that. That command there, press enter, will get you the debug stick. So that's pretty much all you need to do for that. Really straightforward stuff. And that's all you need for the debug stick. Now, after that's done, we're going to go and take our smooth sandstone and we're going to place down a row of 3. That's going to go across here. And we're going to place down a second row of 3, then a third, 4. And then once we get to this section here, we're going to place down an arrow block in the center and then an upside down stair to both sides like that for the wheel wells on the back. And then we're going to go and place down just another row of 3 all the way across the back here to finish it off. Up here on the front, we're going to place down an item frame that's going to come off the sides here of this upside down stair. In that, we're going to place down an orange concrete block, as well as, if you're on Java, a birchwood sign over it as well, just to kind of help conceal it a little bit and blend it in with the vehicle. We're going to place down a second birchwood sign going back from the previous one, so just like that. Then we want to go ahead and grab ourselves some birchwood fence or trapdoors. We're going to place down a trapdoor here, skip a space, and another trapdoor. Same thing over here, trapdoor, skip a space, trapdoor like that. We're also going to go and take our birchwood signs, again place down a sign on the side of this upside down stair. Another item frame on these corner blocks with a orange concrete block in the item frame, and then a birchwood sign, again on the side if you're on Java. On the very back here, we're going to go ahead and place down a item frame that's going to go on these 2 blocks here. And in those item frames, we're going to go and grab ourselves some red concrete, and we're just going to place down some red concrete like that in those, like that, to go ahead and create the brake lights. Now for this middle space here, if you're on Java, we'll be going ahead and placing down a polished blackstone wall, and we'll use our debug stick here to extend the sides of the wall out to the side. Then we'll place down an item frame and then a yellow stained glass pane like that for the spare tire on the back. You can also just use a normal full block if you're not on Java. This one just looks a little bit better because it doesn't protrude as much out as it would with using a full block. But either one will work in this scenario. And then also, if you're on Java, we can place down a fence gate here, or a tripwire hook. We're going to place down a tripwire hook. We may have to adjust our wall if it does reset. But on this tripwire hook, we will be placing down a radio antenna. So if you're not on Java, you may want to go ahead and use the tripwire hook rather than using the item frame there. So again, kind of up to you on what you want to do there. Anyways, though, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 2 of the build. Here again is a top-down view. And with that, we'll be moving on to our next layer, layer number 3. So moving into our final layers, we're just going to go ahead and do the rest of it. We're going to do layers 3 through 5. For these layers to start with, we're going to place down a row of birchwood trapdoors across this front space here. And then behind it, we're going to place down a birchwood fence gate, as well as another brick wall to both sides. Behind this fence gate, or this fence post, we're going to place down a stripped birchwood log like this. And then to the sides, we're going to place down a smooth sandstone block like so. After that's done, we're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves another brick fence post, and we're going to place it down here to the sides of these walls. Now, when it comes to this right here on Java, we can actually go ahead and extend the walls out to the sides just to kind of fill in the space a little bit more like that for the windows. And we can also go ahead and modify the fence posts here so they actually extend toward the walls, so using the debug stick. If you're not on Java and don't have access to the debug stick, I'd probably recommend replacing these with black concrete blocks. I feel like that would probably be a good alternative instead of using the walls, just to make sure that that fills in that space properly. So again, if we're on Java and we have the debug stick, we'll use the wall technique here. If you're not on Java, I'd recommend just using black concrete full blocks instead as an alternative. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and take our smooth sandstone. We're going to place down another row of 3 that's going to go across this space here. And then we're going to place down a row 3 of pistons, like this. After those pistons, we're going to go ahead and place down a birchwood sign to the side here. And the pistons here are going to be best for my Java players. We're going to go ahead and take our debug stick and just right-click those, get rid of that wood portion of the build. And then behind these, we're going to place down daylight detectors. Now, what's going to happen is these daylight detectors will cause those pistons to rise up. So we are going to want to go ahead and use some barrier blocks. And barrier blocks can be obtained the same way as the debug stick. So /give the little asterisk. And then we'll just type in barrier like that, press enter, and it'll give you the barrier block. Now, the barrier block here, like I said, is going to be perfect for basically putting on top here of these pistons. So when we put the daylight detectors behind these, they won't raise, and then we can use our debug stick here to go ahead and get rid of that wood portion and help our smoothing there. Now, instead of the pistons, I would recommend probably using some birchwood, some smooth sandstone slabs instead as an alternative to what we have here. Once that's all done, we do want to go ahead and grab ourselves some iron bars, and we're going to place down iron bars that go up from this tripwire hook here on the back. We're going to place down a total of 3 up for the radio antenna. We also want to go ahead and grab ourselves some birchwood trapdoors, and we're just going to place down birchwood trapdoors on tops of the full blocks, the fence gate, and also the walls here. Now, again, the walls might break, so you might have to just go ahead and reset them, as these, using the debug stick here can be a little bit finicky with these type of placements. So it's going to look something like that there. So we have the basic design now for the Humvee, and really what's next for us to do is to go ahead and do these banner designs. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the materials, and I'll show you guys how to build those banners. Alright guys, so moving into making the banners here for the vehicle, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to start off by going ahead and going into our loom, and we're going to go ahead and place down our first yellow banner. We're going to need 2 yellow banners for this, 3 black dye, and 5 yellow dye. We're going to place down a black dye in our banner, and we're going to go ahead and split the banner in half on the top with the black like that. We're going to go ahead and grab this banner, put it back into our loom, place our yellow dye in there. We're going to do the line across the center like this horizontally, and then we're going to go and do the border around it like that. So that's going to create our first window here, and this banner here is going to be used on the back of the vehicle here. So to create those windows like that. After that's done, we're going to go into our loom, and we're going to go ahead and place down our next yellow banner and our black dye. For this, we're going to go ahead and do the X shape. That's going to look like this. We'll grab that, put that back into our loom, and then we want to go ahead and place down our black dye. That's going to split the top half, so we have the black dye on the top. That's going to look like that. We'll again grab that from the loom, place that back in, use our yellow dye this time. We're going to do a line that goes across the center here like this, and a line that's going to go ahead and go across the outside, so it's going to look like this, and it's going to create that little chevron there, and that's going to complete that. So actually we only need 4 yellow dye, but right there, that is going to be it for that. We'll place this banner on the side here in this space like that, and you have the little chevron design there. Looks pretty nice there, and that's the basic kind of flat top Humvee design we have there. Now, from this point on, we're going to go ahead and do the different gun versions, so you can skip ahead to wherever you guys want. I'll be showing you guys again how to do this 50 cal design, this more kind of protected 50 cal turret, and then we also have the tow launcher. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started with our first design, just the basic 50 cal, and then you can go ahead and skip ahead to wherever you guys want. So let's go ahead and get started with our first design. All right, guys, so going ahead and working on our 50 cal design, we're going to go ahead and remove this this pressure plate, and also this one right here. What we're going to do is we're going to place down a fence gate that's going to go like this facing forward. We're going to go ahead and place down a chain that's going to come off like this from the fence gate. We'll delete the first chain, place down one coming off like that to go ahead and create the barrel there for the 50 cal. And then we're also going to delete this this pressure plate right behind the fence gate, place down a wither skeleton skull, and to this side here we're going to place down a zombie head for the basically magazine, or the holder that holds the bullets for the machine gun. And then we can use our debug stick here for Java and just kind of right click this. So we'll do in wall false, right click it so it lays it down a little bit more flatter, and that's going to create the 50 cal machine gun on top. Again, you may have to modify these walls just depending on if you had to if they break or not. But yeah, basically that is the design there for the basic 50 cal. Super easy design. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the protected 50 cal design. So our next version of the Humvee is going to be the protected 50 cal machine gun. So for this to start with, we're going to be going ahead and replacing this, or we're going to delete this pressure plate here, this one, and this one for the time being. We're going to build our 50 cal by placing down a dark oak wood fence gate like this. We're going to go ahead and place down 2 chains going forward, delete the first chain, and we're going to place down a lightning rod so it's facing that direction like so. Behind this, we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull on the back of the fence gate, and we're going to go ahead and basically leave it as is for right now, and that's going to create our gun there. Now, for the actual kind of machine gun position itself, we're going to go ahead and delete this pressure plate here as well, and we're going to place down a yellow stained glass pane to both sides here. We'll place down a birchwood trapdoor like this, and we're going to go ahead and flick it so it goes forward like that and kind of connects up to those trapdoors there. Then we're going to go ahead and place down a sandstone wall that's going to go back from those glass panes, and we're going to delete those pressure plates along with it. We also want to go and delete these pressure plates and place down some yellow stained glass panes. And then we're going to place down a smooth sandstone upside down stair. This could also be substituted out for a full block if you want to have these glass panes connect up. But with our debug stick here, we're going to go ahead and connect our glass panes like this, and also right here, and also on this side as well. We'll just kind of have them kind of cut inwards and connect up like that. You can also go ahead and remove the connection to the trap doors there. Kind of creates a little bit of a cleaner look for that protected gun turret. Now, once that's all done, we want to go ahead and grab ourselves some wither skeleton skulls, and we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull here on the side of these walls, just like that to both sides. And then once that's all done, just for a little bit more of like the window design on these, we can place down an item frame and black concrete. This is going to work best if you're on Java, as the item frames are invisible. But again, you can use the normal item frames too if you wanted, and we'll just place it down like that for kind of little windows for visibility around the vehicle for the gunner. But that right there is it for the protected turret. Also, again, for my Java players, I would recommend also lowering that fence gate there. And if your blocks or your fence gates and your walls on the bottom here do get messed up, just make sure you go back down here and correct them as needed. But really nothing too crazy when it comes to the protected turret. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the last version we'll be doing, which is the tow launcher. Moving on to the last version we'll be covering in this tutorial, this will be the tow launcher. So for the tow launcher itself, we're going to go and delete this pressure plate here, and we're going to place down a dragon head facing backwards like so. We'll delete the pressure plate here, and we're going to go and place down a wither skeleton skull coming off the dragon head just like that. Going forward from the back of the dragon head, we're going to place down a fence gate as well as a wither skeleton skull. We'll also use our debug stick here and lower the fence gate if possible to kind of sit more in line there like so. We're going to go then delete this pressure plate, and we want to go ahead and place down a block that's going to come off to the side here. We'll place down a lever, use our debug stick here, and rotate this around by changing the facing so it comes off the side of that block like that. And we're going to go ahead and place down a flower pot on top of it. You can also substitute this out with placing down a dark oak wood fence gate like this and opening it up toward the wither skeleton skull, but for us on Java, we'll use this technique here to go ahead and create this design. Then on top here of the dragon head, we're also going to place down a wither skeleton skull. So just like that. And that right there is going to create your tow launcher. So real simple stuff. And again, if you're on Java and the fence gates or the fence posts and the walls get messed up here just from breaking the blocks above it, just go ahead and make sure you correct those and get those all finished off. But that right there is going to complete the tow launcher add-on for the Humvee. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly cover the woodland camouflage. So if you want to add that for yourself, you'd be more than welcome to. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about the camo. All right, guys. So when it comes to the camouflage for the Humvee, it's pretty straightforward here. Basically, all we're doing here is mixing some polished blackstone, some green or some of the prismarine, and some spruce into the build, and you can see it's kind of a randomized pattern here to pretty much add a bit more color to it. And it's going to be basically this three-tone color scheme, and you can kind of get a general idea for both sides. All these Humvees are kind of the same in how I did it. But yeah, you can implement this to your Humvees and create this cool woodland camouflage. You can also just make them solid green if you wanted to. There's pretty much a lot you can do. One of the most notable things here is I did change the loom out for some polished deep slate, just because I felt that this looked a lot better than having the loom, which kind of breaks the color palette a little bit more. So anyways, that's kind of it for the camouflage. Just want to kind of show you a general few angles of how I went about doing it if you do want to do it yourself. And again, you can build these in just a solid green as well. That would be perfectly acceptable too. But the Humvee's most known for its tan cover scheme being involved in the War and Terror campaign and all that stuff. But that right there is going to complete my tutorial here for these 3 versions of the Humvee. Hope you guys did enjoy the build. If you do end up using this design, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a link from a side of the build, link to my channel or this video if this does appear in your social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're free to use it for projects you guys are working on. And with that, again, there will be a download for these. So if you do want to just download the models yourself, you're more than welcome to, as well as a bunch of other variants of the Humvees as well that won't be covered in a tutorial. However, though, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.